Hey, this is Dr. Tyler Coles from OrthoBoost, and today's topic is the best place to invest your time and money in marketing your practice. I've been marketing my own practice for about 15 years. We've tried just about everything from TV ads, radio ads, postcards, billboards, as well as everything on digital media as well. So I'm going to be talking about the results I've seen in my own practice, what the return on investment was, and what I'm currently doing now based on all this experience I've had, and hopefully help you avoid some of the things that aren't going to give you the best return and show you the things that have worked best for my practice. So let's get into it. All right, so whenever we're talking about marketing, we need to consider the time invested as well as the money invested. So I like to call this the return on investment as well as the return on effort, because both things are very important, especially if, as you as a doctor is going to be involved at all. It needs to be something that's low effort because your time is best spent treating patients. So we want something that's going to give a return on the money we spend, but also ideally not take a ton of time or effort or involvement of the orthodontic staff or the orthodontist. So in the discussion today, we're going to be looking at this graph and we're going to be plotting out your return as well as your effort. And so things that are not a great return, I categorize as about a 2-to-1 return on investment. So something that gives you a little bit of return, a little bit of profit, but not a great profit. And up to a 30-to-1 is when you hit a home run and knock it out of the park and get a huge return on your investment. The other thing is effort. We're going to categorize things as either easy to do or extremely difficult. And so based on where we put these things, we'll also categorize them in the 4 separate boxes. Things that are high effort, low return. That's obviously the category you want to avoid, things that produce very little return but are hard to do. Things that are low effort, low return. Generally speaking, these are things you don't want to invest a ton of time in. Even though they're not hard, if they don't give you a big return on your money, they're usually not the best thing to do either. There's the high effort, high return items. Those often are worth doing, but you need to categorize them and dedicate a certain amount of time and effort into them, because they are so labor intensive, they're going to be difficult to pull off. Then lastly is the low effort, high return. These are the things that are, we want to do as many of these as possible, things that give us a big return on our investment, but don't take a ton of time or effort. So we're going to be talking about the different marketing channels I've kind of worked in, everything from legacy media, billboards, radio, things that are a little bit non-traditional like influencer marketing. We're going to be talking about the Google ecosystem, which has SEO, Google search ads, as well as performance max ads. We'll talk about social media, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And then the traditional marketing channels that most orthodontists have done for years, including dentist referrals, patient referrals, and then print media also, postcards, magazines, flyers, Valpak. So again, I've done every single one of these things on this list. There are things that I still do today, things that I'll never do again. So we'll talk about that more in detail. All right, so first, the items I call legacy media channels. Things like billboards, TV ads, as well as radio ads. Most orthodontists aren't in this area much. This is kind of the big brands. We've got a very big practice in Phoenix, Arizona. We've got 6 offices. So we actually tried these channels for a while. And the return on investment I measured over time for billboards was about a 3-to-1 ROI. So every dollar we spent, we got 3 back. Not horrible, not amazing, but we did get a positive return. Radio ads, we did a 2.5-to-1. Again, okay, we still made money, but there was probably better places we could have allocated those marketing dollars. As far as effort, these were pretty easy. So with a billboard, you have to negotiate your contract, you have to get your artwork done, but after that, you send it up and then your billboard's up, people see it, and that's it. So again, there's a little bit of effort on the front, but then once it's live, you basically do nothing. So super low effort, kind of a lowish return, so not ideal. Radio ads, same thing. You need to spend some time to get the radio ad negotiated up front. You need to actually get the radio creative made. But then once that's live, you just pay the checks and the radio ad runs, and ideally you get patients in the door. So again, super low effort, not a great return. So I put both of these in the low effort, low return. So if you had marketing dollars, you don't have a ton of time, you could do these, but there's gonna be better places to put your marketing dollars if you're trying to be super efficient. So next is influencer marketing. This is where you get somebody that's on either YouTube or Instagram or whatever, and you get them to promote your practice. So we tried to find this for a while, and we tried several Instagram influencers in Phoenix, and they basically did nothing for us. And then out of sheer chance, a big YouTube family that was in Phoenix that had a very big following came into our office, actually paid for braces. They asked if they could film us. We got a huge response from that. And then after that, we did promoted videos with them over and over. So this worked out very well. We got a 5.9 to 1 ROI. So again, it did cost a lot once we started doing those promoted videos. But every time we did one, we get a huge return. Over time, we saw the return diminishing because there's only so many people on their channel. Eventually, everybody on their channel that was in Phoenix had kind of already seen the message and it got less effective. But while we were doing it, it actually got a good return. So I rank these as a moderate return right in the middle. A 5.9 to 1 is actually a good return, but the difficulty is on the more extremely difficult side because it is extremely difficult to find an influencer that actually is going to work. So again, when we were actually searching for one, all of them were horrible. None of them worked out at all. When we had one fall into our lap, it worked out great. It's great if you can do it, but it's something that is a little bit unpredictable to know if that's going to work out for you. So I put this one in the high effort, low return. High effort because it took a long time to find one, even though eventually it just kind of found us. And then low return, again, it's like a moderate return, but there are things that are going to get us a better return than this. So next is the Google ecosystem. Everything from Google search ads, SEO, as well as Google Performance Max. So these are 3 giant categories, but most of the internet runs on these 3 things. So we're going to talk about all of them. It's hard to track exactly your return on investment, from Google search because people find your office. You can't track how much you had to spend to actually get them in the office. You may be able to track how much you spent on SEO and extrapolate that as like, it kind of was this. Google search ads, it's a little bit easier because you can track how much you spent. And of those people that saw your ads, how many of them converted, so we can get an actual return on investment on that one. For an entire year, when I was tracking all the Google leads that we got in our office and all the money we spent on Google, we actually got a 30 to 1 ROI. So again, a lot of that was people coming in through our organic channels, people that searched our office, found us, we didn't have to pay for that ad. But a lot of those organic rankings came from paying to be on Google as well. Again, from a return on investment standpoint, there's probably nothing better you can get than getting really highly ranked on Google, either through SEO or ranking high with Google Ads. So Google Ads and SEO are something that's pretty difficult, especially the SEO part. To rank number 1 in your city for the search term that you're wanting is something that's super competitive, and you have to do it better than every other orthodontist if you want that top spot. So I put it as extremely difficult, but it is the absolute best return on investment if you can do it. And then Google Ads, Google Search Ads and Performance Max, their ROI isn't quite as good because you actually have to pay for those spots. And it is a little bit more difficult in the scheme of, to try to do this yourself is going to be pretty complicated. So I put Google Ads in the high effort, high return. So these are things that are worth doing, absolutely, but you need to allocate your time appropriately so you can pull them off and actually get them done. It's not something that you can just do one time. SEO is something you have to do over and over and over to do it effectively. So next is social media. So these are paid social media. For Facebook, we were able to get a 7.7 to 1 ROI. So every time we spent $1, we got $7.75 back. TikTok last year, we actually got an 8 to 1 ROI. So it was even better than Facebook. Currently, these numbers are not quite there. TikTok's actually going down, but last year, TikTok was fantastic for us. So I put TikTok in kind of the moderate return, but moderately high effort. Again, if you're trying to do this yourself, it's going to take a little bit of work for sure. If you hire someone to do it, it's still going to take some work, but the return on investment is so good that it's worth doing. So I put these on the low effort, high return. So again, the return's very high, but the effort you're going to have to do on this is not as much as, say, like your SEO, but it is going to be some effort to get going. All right, so how about organic social media? So the last one we talked about paid ads. This is organic social media. For last year, we got 0 reported leads for any of our organic social media. So this is not what I do. It's not what I'm good at. Those orthodontists who can do organic social media and get patients from it, more power to you. That is not what I do. So for me, this is extremely low effort because I didn't do it, but it's extremely low return. So offices that just take random pictures of patients, put them on Facebook, again, that's like minimal effort, but you're probably getting 0 return. So I would put these squarely in the low effort, low return. It's probably something that you can do, but don't put a ton of time, energy, or money into organic social media unless this is like your passion. This is what you do and you're really, really good at it. Orthodontists that are great at this, they own this space And it's going to be even harder for those of us who just barely dabble in it to really get any traction. So unless this is your passion, what you're good at, I would say it's probably not worth spending a lot of time on. All right, next is the traditional marketing channels. These are the things that all the orthodontists did before the internet existed. Those include dentist referral marketing, patient referral marketing, community events, as well as community sponsorships. These are all over the board. So community sponsorships, that's when somebody comes in and wants you to sponsor their soccer team. You write a check, you give them the check, and then nothing happens. So again, super low effort. It takes 10 seconds, probably zero return. It's still something we do because we like to help out the community, but I don't expect a return from that, money spent. Even though I count it as marketing dollars, it's basically no return. Next is event marketing. So if you've done events, you know they can be effective. We actually get a lot of patients from events historically, but they are not easy to pull off because they're usually on a weekend. Usually the staff doesn't want to go to the event. Usually you have to have a booth. You've got to have like a bunch of stuff to give away. We usually will have a raffle. In Arizona, it's really, really hot outside. So getting staff to go to these events was very difficult. So super high effort, pretty good return. Not something we do a ton of just because it's hard to get your staff to go work on the weekends when they don't really want to be there. Next is patient referral marketing. Again, to do this effectively, it takes a decent amount of work, but the return you can get is great, as well as doctor referral marketing. It's probably the best return on investment. If you can get a dentist or a pediatric dentist to refer patients to you, it is one of the best ROI activities you can possibly do, but it takes so much effort. You've got to go to lunch, you've got to make phone calls, you got to write letters, you got to be friends. You sometimes have to go take them golfing. So again, if you can do this well, and you're already doing this well, keep doing it. It's one of the best marketing activities you could possibly do. This is not something that I do extremely well. My brother's much better at it than me. So he does this part of it, and I focus on all the digital marketing because that's more my thing. So I put doctor marketing in the high effort, high return. Again, it takes a lot of time, effort. It doesn't take a lot of money, but it does take a lot of time, but the ROI is great. Same with patient marketing. Event marketing, again, moderate return, high effort, and then the community sponsorships, low effort, low return. So those are things that we do in our practice. We do all of them. But again, we have to allocate our time appropriately so that we can do them effectively. And sometimes like event marketing, we may do 1 or 2 a year just because it is so time consuming. All right, so last category we're gonna talk about is print ads. These are things like flyers. These are Valpak. These are magazine ads and postcards. We used to do a ton of these. So we used to flood our town every month or 2 with postcards. We were in every magazine. I do every Valpak envelope. And then we even paid some people to go put flyers on cars and doors. And so we did a lot of print marketing. But this was before I got really good at tracking our marketing spend and our return. Once I started tracking our return on investment, I found that the ROI was pretty low. It's like 2 to 1, maybe 3 to 1 if we did it well. And sometimes we would drop, $6,000 on a postcard and get 0 leads from it. So, with postcards, you have to spend a lot of money to find out your message was wrong and it just bombs. And so that's what I didn't like about it is with Facebook ads or Google ads, I can spend $100 and find out if this one works. And if it works, great, we can turn up our budget. If it doesn't work, we turn it off and try something else. With postcards, it's $3,000 to $6,000 in, and we either knock it out of the park and get a great result, or we get nothing at all. And after tracking the numbers, with magazine ads, I saw almost no return. Valpak, it was very moderate return. Postcards, pretty moderate to low return. And so after looking at this versus Google, Facebook, and TikTok, I canceled all of our print ads and put all of our money into digital marketing. The return on investment was so much better. It was so much more predictable that it was worth doing. So even though the digital marketing is higher effort, the return on it is worth that effort to me. So postcards is pretty low effort. You do have to do, again, the work on the front end of getting your postcard design made, but then you send it out, and then you can send it out as many times as you want. But return on it is not worth doing. So again, this may still work in some markets. You could try it if you want, but for me, it's not something that I continue to do at this stage. So I put postcards in the low effort, low return. So looking at all of these things, you can see the things that I put low effort, low return, we may do these if they don't cost much money, because I better not be expecting a return if we're doing this at all. Things that are high effort, low return, we don't do much at all. So Things like influencer marketing or events, if we do them, it's rare, but these are the things that take a lot of work and aren't the greatest return on our effort. Things that are high effort, high return, or low effort, high return, you want to do all of the low effort, high return as possible, because those are the things that are going to give you results without a lot of work. But the high effort, high return are still worth doing because the results are so good. So really you have to decide is, where are you going to allocate your marketing budget? And then where are you going to allocate your time? Both, we don't have infinite sources of money or time. And so you need to pick out the most effective things in each category and decide which of all these things can I as the doctor do better than everybody else, and is it worth my time to do? And then look at which of these things can I delegate 100% but still get that high return. So the things that I would recommend most doctors do is allocate their time to dentist referral marketing and patient referral marketing. These are things that you can, again, take some time and effort, but you can effectively move these in the right direction and get a huge return. And these are things that are hard to delegate to anybody else, because you can't delegate going to lunch or having a relationship with a dentist. That's something that you can't hire someone to do. But things you can hire someone to do is the digital marketing. So things like SEO, Google ads, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, all these things you can hire someone to do. And then you just have to figure out how to fit that into your marketing budget, but then delegate that 100% as much as you can. So unless you're like me and just like this stuff and want to get into it, you have to be like 100% into it, know it better than everybody else to really get that high return. But if that's not you, then by all means, hire someone that can do it at that level. So things like organic social media, it's still worth doing barely, where you take pictures or videos and put them on social media. We still do it. It just acts as social proof. So when somebody sees my ad and they may go to my Facebook page, I want it to look like an actual business and have actual pictures, even though that picture by itself does very little to get someone into my practice. It's just basically a social proof thing. So again, I 100% delegate that to my staff. I don't go take the pictures. I don't, choreograph dances, anything like that. They are in control of that part of it, but I control the ads as well as Google. So I would recommend, if you're doing your marketing planning, is plan in 3-month chunks. So pick a quarter and say, this quarter, we're going to pick one thing that's high effort for the doctor or staff, and we're going to do that thing really, really well and make sure we get it right. And then we're going to pick 2 things that we can delegate 100% to somebody else and see if we can get results from them. That's what I would recommend is, like I said, as the doctor, go and do those patient referral marketing and doctor referral marketing, and then hire someone that can handle your website, SEO, Facebook, Google, TikTok ads, those things that give you that big return, but you don't have time to handle it all yourself. And that's what we do at OrthoBoost, is we take all of the things that I've done in my own practice, from optimizing my website, running my ads, running my Facebook and TikTok ads. We take those strategies that have already been proven and successful, give us a good return, and we do those for our clients. So if that's something you're interested in, to be able to find someone that you can delegate all those tasks to, I would encourage you to schedule a free consultation where we'll look at your practice and figure out if this is a good fit and which of these services and all these options might be the best choice for you. So feel free to reach out and click the link in the description where you can schedule a free consultation. So hopefully this video is helpful to kind of give you an idea on which marketing channels are the best place to put your effort as well as your money. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section below. We'll do our best to answer. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Click the like button, and we'll talk to you soon.